Okay, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to be interviewing tonight Miss Danielle. She is coming all the way from Australia. And the beauty of this interview tonight is this is the kickoff for our very first student success interview series. Now, why I chose Danielle to be our very first participant or person being interviewed is because she was my very first student using this e-commerce business management model. So I am thrilled to have you here, Danielle. Welcome to you, and I'm so glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Sin, thank you so much. I can't believe that I was your lucky first one.
I know.
Okay, so how Sin and I crossed paths is I used to be a hair and makeup artist, and for me to earn money, I had to go and do hair and makeup on someone's face. So if I wasn't working, I wasn't earning. So I was really looking for a way to make money on that whole automated system. And I tried stupid things like multi-level marketing. If you do multi-level marketing, fantastic, and it's working. It did not work for me. I also found a course about selling on Amazon. And I got sucked in. I drank the Kool-Aid, all right, I was going to sell on Amazon. I was going to spend $30,000 on buying all this stock and inventory, and I did it. And then I freaked out because I had so much money tied up in this Amazon business, and it was a lot harder than what they led me to believe. So I found this crazy lady with this huge personality saying, no, stop buying stock. You can sell other people's stock. And I was like, okay, Sin, tell me how do I get hold of this sort of plan? And then that's where I jumped into her course, and it opened my eyes up to a whole new possibility. We've all heard about drop shipping, but drop shipping is unreliable. You have no idea when it's going to arrive, what the quality is, and a lot of it's, not very nice products if you're coming in from overseas. So she talked about finding manufacturers who have already got a product, but they just don't know how to market it. And it made a lot of sense. So I was lucky enough that I'm in an organisation called BNI. Now, BNI is a business networking group, and there are lots of BNI members in America, and I'm here in Australia. And so I went through my membership list of BNI members in the States, and I found a company that make metal fabric.
Don't say the name.
No.
Okay, good. I didn't want you, because it's a competitive product, and we never tell our products if we're selling on Amazon. So okay,
no,
all right,
no,
just
no.
making sure.
It's all a deep dark secret. So I found a company that does metal fabrication, and so I'd done some product research, and I knew a couple of products that had great demand that were metal products, and I thought, right, these guys are going to make me this product that I'm going to sell, and we're all going to be happy families. And instead, they actually came back to me, and they were so suspicious. Here I was, a total stranger from Australia, saying, hey, I want to sell your stuff on Amazon. And they already had been making a product to do with the agriculture area. It was to do with forklifts and tractors. And they said that they'd been trying to get this part that they'd been making into what are some of the stores in America that sell tractor gear or something?
Like tractor.
I don't know, some farming, and this big store would not take their part in. They've got a patent for it. People who'd been using it had been loving it, and they couldn't get it into the store. And I don't think they were really equipped to be able to mass produce either. So anyway, so I said, oh, okay, a tractor part. Oh my God, it's not very nice. But anyway, so we started selling it, and I did some number crunching, and I thought, okay, these guys could possibly sell 2 or 3 every day. And so we launched it on Amazon. It was rough and ready. There was no marketing behind it in any shape, way, or form. And sure enough, we were selling 2 or 3 every day. And and it was good, but I made some mistakes, and this is where Sin has now got this so slick and ready, so you guys are not going to make the same mistakes as me. One, I didn't have stuff set up for them properly, like and they were on a real budget as well, you know, like product insert cards. You know, they were trying to do handwritten notes and things like this. We didn't have the proper follow-ups ready, and we ended up, what happened is the product was great, but we didn't have enough backup material for the customers to use it properly. So, and I'm going to be really blunt here, Amazon customers are stupid. They truly are. If something doesn't work within 2 seconds, it's faulty, they return it, they leave you a 1-star review, they do not do their research, they just buy stuff randomly, and then they break stuff because they don't know what they're doing with it. And this is what happened with this part, is people were using it incorrectly. And we had a couple of 1-star reviews that came in, and then the voice of the customer, we had a couple of those complaints, and Amazon actually suspended the listing, okay? So it was a huge learning curve. So we've actually gone back to the drawing board. We've made some modifications on the product, so it's now stronger. And we've also making some videos, instructional videos, so that Amazon customers will use it properly, and putting in product insert cards, which have got a QR code on them, so that people can click the QR code. Like you can see a QR code on my Zoom here. That one goes to my review page, but I've got a QR code that will go to their website where they've got the instructional videos and a warranty sign up, so that people can put their email address in there. And then we've got a way of connecting with those customers and asking them, is everything okay? And then starting that chain up of like, hey, do you love it? Do you like it? Is everything okay? Could you leave us a review? So that's the process behind there.
Yeah.
So,
So
that's my story. It's been a bit rocky, but overall it's been really positive, and I've made an amazing friend. Like my girl in America, her name's Michelle, and she goes, "Hey y'all, hey Danielle, you know, you're like a sister to me," and I'm like, it's so crazy. She's in South Carolina. So she's so gorgeous. So I can't wait till I can actually get over to the States to meet her, because she'll get a massive hug, because we are now friends.
How awesome is that? Oh my gosh. Well, you have said a mouthful. So let's go back and kind of dissect a couple of those pieces, because you've said some really, really good points, and I want to make sure that they understand like the full picture behind it. So the first thing is, obviously you are in Australia and your client is in South Carolina. So, I do have a lot of students that are in other countries or all over the world. So that does not stop you from finding clients. You really, it's all in who you partner with and the connection that you make when you first speak to them or reach out to someone, right?
100%. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I love how you said that y'all are now best friends, or she considers you her best friend, and she just, the partnership that you have made, she trusts you implicitly now, even though in the beginning it's like, who is this person reaching out to me? So it took a little while to build that trust and to build that relationship. But look where it has evolved to from day one, right?
Oh, 100%. So here I am, a total stranger. So we've got a mutual business connection, and I'm asking them for me to sell their product. But I'm also risking my selling account to a total stranger as well. And that's what I pointed out to them. You know, I could lose my selling account, and I sell my own private label products. Mm-hmm. And, so it's this two-way street of trust. So, and setting up that, those guidelines, it was pretty terrifying at the start, like thinking, oh, gee, I hope this product is going to be okay and it's going to sell. And then, working out our, framework of how to send in the stock and make sure that customer inquiries are answered. But, I had very little involvement at the start. So it was a positive experience. And going forward, now that we're redesigning or honing in, it's going to be some stricter framework, if that makes sense.
So let's kind of start back. How long has it been? About 2 years, I'm thinking. Is that right? Or a year and a half?
Yeah, it's been 18 months. So we stopped selling their product in November, okay? And then they've been massively busy building, I don't know, fences or fireplace guards or whatever it is that metal fabrication people in South Carolina build. So they've been extremely busy with that. And also COVID knocked them around a little bit. And also the lack of supplies, you know, they had trouble sourcing. What do they use? I think they use aluminium to build this part. So they also had trouble sourcing, and they also use a local company that does their powder coating. So they also had to wait for the powder coater to also be able to fit in their stuff as well.
Right. So regardless of where you source, whether it's over where your client sources, whether it's overseas or whether it's even local businesses, things happen. So, you know, it's things that are beyond their control. And my clients have actually experienced the very same thing. Their whole facility, one of my clients, their whole facility was shut down because everyone caught COVID and got sick. So we were scrambling trying to get the orders out. And, you know, I couldn't work because I don't know how to build the products, but yeah, so things do happen. So which brings up another point. It's not always smooth sailing. There are issues that come up. There are things that you can work with your client addressing. And you, with your experience and knowing how to handle customer service, because you were in e-commerce before you started working with them as their e-com business manager, then you knew the importance of doing the insert or creating the instructional video or all these little things that really makes it a better customer experience overall, right? So
yeah, and that's where it was really frustrating, because I know with my own products, I have it all sorted. I design the packaging, I design the insert cards, I know exactly what it is that I'm selling. With this product, I was just fingers crossed that they were properly putting it into a poly bag for me and hoping that, you know, that what they were putting into that bag was going to be correct. And also trying to, you know, smash them over the head saying, come on, guys, we need to shoot a video. So with my own products, I get that sorted. You know, I've got a photography team, and I know Sin can put you in touch with the people that she uses, but I've got all that sorted. I know the processes of what I need to get a product ready for market. But yeah, working with a manufacturer who's got their own ideas, it's a challenge. And now I know that I've really got to put them through their paces at the start to make sure they've got their ducks in a row, so that we don't end up with like what happened to me with, you know, some 1-star reviews, because it just wasn't quite, you know, slick enough, if that makes sense.
Well, good thing that you mentioned that, because we do have something in the program that actually says it's a meeting schedule, and it's things that you need to go over, and product quality, processes, shipping, fulfillment, all of that is things that need to be discussed and worked out. Pictures, videos, inserts, all of that should really be figured out on the front end, but you have to live and learn. You have to go through that. I didn't know to ask those questions either when I first got started. So luckily, through experience, now we know that this is the proper order to do these things in. And you really bring up another good point. Now, and I did the very same thing with my first client, but I did not with my second client. Is I sold, and I still sell my very first client's products through my own account. So just like you were saying, there is a fear there. If whatever they do with their business, and we're strictly talking Amazon at this point. So whatever they do with their business, if it's negative reviews or whatever, it affects us negatively. And what if it's something really bad, they can have our entire account shut down, and we would never be able to sell again, not under that name, that IP address, or our physical address, right? You would have to start over with all new information, banking and everything. So it is very important that you trust your client just as much as they trust you, to handle their business. Now, my second client, we actually set everything up through his own name and his own banking and his everything. So I purposely have one each way so I can teach students the different ways. But I think that's definitely the smarter way to go, because that takes all the risk off of ourselves if we are selling on those platforms as well, right? Or have any intention of ever selling on those platforms. Which, or any other comments about that, or before I move on?
Yeah, well, it's funny because these guys that I found, they'd actually started getting an Amazon account opened, and they just gave up because it was too confusing. And
Oh.
I've actually said, do you want to? And they go, no, please, we don't want to deal with anything. Just sell our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll post it into. So we did. We decided on FBA. They were wanting to do FBM, and I said to them, no, I just don't know if you're going to be able to get stock out in time, and I don't want to risk my account if you have taken an extra day or two to get to the post office to post it out. So I've made them do FBA. And, but I also made them just do small quantities, because I always told them, you never know what Amazon's going to do with an account or with a product. So I always said that we only have sort of 20 or 30 in stock at a time, so that we're not going to, like what I did, risk 1,000 units all in one go. So we did, 20 at a time, and they'd send in sort of, 20 every couple of weeks. We'd just sort of, have that as a rolling amount that would go through. But it was really frustrating. There were times when we were out of stock because they hadn't got new stock manufactured, because he was doing it in between jobs. Mm-hmm. But it's really funny. Their idea is exactly what they want, to produce stuff and not have to go out to site to put in fences or gates on houses. They want to do what we're doing, which is automate, 1 or 2 products that sell really well. And then that's how they earn their money, by doing something once well, and then it just constantly selling. And they want someone like me to be that sort of, that gatekeeper or the connector, so that they have, they can do this selling without having to do the physical on-site work.
And which brings me to another point that you just said, that they started to sell on their own and they couldn't figure it out. It was too frustrating. So they just gave up. And that's exactly what I found as well. So that's why e-commerce business managers are so critically important, because these businesses need help. And they are looking for support. They're looking for someone that can just handle it for me. I don't want to do anything, just handle it. And so that's exactly what I tell my students. But I'm so glad you're reaffirming everything, because it's true. That's exactly how it works. They don't know how, they don't have the resources, and they need an expert to come in and handle it all for them.
And they don't want to deal with it. I mean, at the end of the day, no one wants to know how to do 100 things. You should only know how to do 3 or 4 things and do it really well, and then outsource what you don't know. And I mean, that's even what I do. If I've got, if I need a hand setting up, I've just had all my, what is it, A plus. It used to be, yeah, no, EBC.
Oh, enhanced brand content. Okay.
Yeah. So I paid someone to do that for me. I'm not going to sit there and edit photos and put together all the content. I don't have time. I could have done it.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to do it. And that's the same as when you're selling for someone else. They're just making the product. They don't want to know how to set up a listing. They don't want to know how to do PPC. They don't want to know that. They would rather pay someone to do it for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. And my time is valuable, just like yours. So why spend 3 days on something when I can pay someone, a virtual assistant or someone on Fiverr? I think I recently paid someone $6.50 to work on fix something that it took me 3 days and I still couldn't figure it out. So it's a no-brainer. I'll gladly give you my $6.50 for you to just fix it for me.
Do it. Yeah.
So, oh gosh. Well, let's go back. I want everyone to get your perspective on. I know you had said that you were selling private label and you were taking other courses and you had sunk like $30,000 into, was that just inventory? Was that training and inventory? Tell us a little bit about the challenges around RAOA wholesale or private label, whichever method that you used to work in.
Okay, so I went straight into private label and did the whole, found a supplier, did my own branding, sunk all this money into stock, and then I had to go and get trademarked. So I did that, just getting all that. It took ages, and it's expensive. This just gives you so much more freedom without having to put that massive outlay in front. So I was actually telling Sin, so even though, we were only selling like two items a day, but over 12 months, so this is 12 months worth of figures, I made for them 18,500. Okay, that was money that they would never ever have earned. They tried to, so I gave them an extra 18 grand, and that's, and that's profit. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and out of that, for me doing, a little bit of work, and I seriously did not do a lot of work at all with it. I made just around $4,600. That's money that I barely spent any time doing. And when you think about private label, after you've done all your PPC and everything, you're lucky if you're going to get 15%, mm-hmm. profit. Mm-hmm. So
great.
I just basically had, it was, I made as much money with them as what I did selling my own stuff. It was awesome.
So when the time amount, let's talk about your time investment. So the time that you had, other than the 30,000 that you invested for the private label opportunity, how much time did you put into that business and how long did it take you to recoup, or did you ever recoup the whole 30,000 versus the time that you made the same amount of profit for, or you just said you did make some profit in private label versus the time that you actually spent managing your client? So I want you to weigh the time difference.
This managing the client, this tractor part was virtually nothing. Seriously, it was, the longest part of it was the negotiations at the start, getting to know each other. And then it was every couple of weeks, I would just do a shipping, organize a shipping label, send the shipping labels through to them so that they could send through to FBA. And then every 2 weeks, I would also pay them. So the money would go into my account, and then I would, give them a tally of how many had sold. There were a couple of, refunds and cancelled sales in there as well. So just making sure that that was all done as well. So I was virtually not a cent out of pocket. I used to run some PPC for them. I think I set it to like $3 a day, so, but I was already paying for advertising for my other stock as well. So it wasn't a massive part of my overheads. They paid for all the shipping. They paid for if there was a return, I wasn't out of pocket for that either.
Good. Which is exactly the way it should be. You should not be paying for those expenses because that is business expenses, right? For the client that you're managing. So definitely the time, minimal time invested,
minimal.
Still made over $4,000. So since you spent so little time, then you could actually, if you wanted to increase those earnings, just bring on a couple more clients, and then that's just increasing that much more income.
100%. Or I should have spent more time, working on it. And they've got some ideas for some other products as well. one's to do with garden hoses. I mean, don't get excited, people, but, you know, garden hoses. So they've got this other little product that they want to do. So it's like, okay, but you've got to get it right. We've got to make sure it fits into a box this size so that we keep it to this shipping, you know, size and weight. So they've had to go back to the drawing board to reconfigure how they can get this garden hose accessory into a certain size and weight as well, so that they keep their profits too.
Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned don't get excited. And I know you've used the word it's not a sexy product before. So I remember us talking about that. So here's another one of my famous sayings: don't be married to your product. Who cares what the product is? Just sell it. A product is a product. I mean, unless it goes against your morals and values, a product is a product. So don't think that you can only sell products that you like or that you would buy yourself, because that's crazy. That will probably never happen. Neither of the two clients that I service would I ever purchase those products, but they make me a lot of money. So why do I care what the product is? My name's not on it. My face is not on it. My voice is, and my brain is behind the company and through my emails and the work that I do, but not my face. So I don't care. Face meaning, you know, me personally. So I don't worry about the product that you're selling. Just help somebody that needs help and make money. Help them make money, and then you make money as well. So going back to your client, the South Carolina client, so they had never sold online because they couldn't figure it out. So you, just by doing minimal passive work, basically very minimal work, then you were able to generate for them over $18,000 in annual sales. For a small mom and pop, this is a family operation, right? For a very small mom and pop rural area, probably business, that was a big deal to them. So now that you've kind of gotten your feet wet, and now that you know, just like these other items that they want to explore, you know, now with the experience level that you have, you can jump in on the front end and make sure everything flows a lot smoother. So technically, I mean, the opportunity is endless as long as they have the ability to produce the products, right?
Yes, and to follow now the instructions, like, you know, please don't take a photo of this tractor part with your chickens running around in the background. Please don't. Please, can we go to someone's, you know, please can you go somewhere where they've got a nice shed or you know, plain cement ground and not the chicken and the dog in the background, you know.
Oh my
we'll
God.
Get them there.
Yes,
We'll get them there.
I cannot stress that enough. Everybody in this group, you know the difference. I have preached the difference between a product photographer versus a regular family photographer versus just using your own cell phone thinking you're doing a great job. Probably not going to happen. Photos sell. The photo is the silent salesman out there pushing those products. So I'm so glad you mentioned that as well, because it is critically important. And you know what? I can just by listening to you, I can tell how much your client listens to what you tell them. So they may have been slow to adapt in the beginning, but they have learned that you know what you're talking about, and they're going to pay attention, and they're going to do what you say now, right? Because you are the authority figure, you're the expert.
Oh, absolutely. Well, with their new product, you know, updating their product so it's a little stronger, then yeah, they've listened, and they're also, it's funny, when we first started selling, they wanted to sell, so the product that we sell, it sells for just under $150. And they said, oh, that's too high. No one's going to pay that. And I said, well, it has to be this price. One, you want to double your profit. So if the product has cost you $30 to make, then you need to sell it for at least $60 clear. So we actually sell it. They actually get $90. They actually get $90 back. Amazon gets, I can't remember.
Probably
Amazon gets their chunk. Yeah, Amazon gets their chunk and I get their chunk. And I said, for me to get my chunk, we have to put it up to this price level. Otherwise, you're not getting the profit that you want. I'm not getting the profit that I want. And Amazon are also going to take their chunk. And so lo and behold, we put it at $149.95 and it sold. No one ever asked for a discount or anything like that. We never put a coupon code or anything out there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, and so the updated product, I think, is going to be around $179 because they've had to put in extra metal, so it's heavier. And I said, right, your shipping's going to be a little more expensive, and you've also had to put some extra metal in there as well. So they're like, yep. Even with the sales tax added, they know that, yeah, it's $179.95 plus whatever state sales tax is on there, and people buy it because they need it for their business.
And you know what? I love that because I am a firm believer in high ticket products. It is easier to cut in your commission on those sales if it's a larger profit margin, right? So you can't sell $20 products unless they got it for $2. Because it's very hard to cut an e-commerce business manager's commission level in there, but the higher price product is much easier. And I love how you're just saying, we're going to do this and you need to do that. And they're like, okay, yes, ma'am. And they're just following your lead. I love that. I love it. I love it. So you're the boss. You really are the boss of the whole process. So I just think you command authority. You're confident. You know what you're talking about. And I think that is the ticket because they know that you're the expert and then they listen to you. So I truly love that. All right, let's see. So go back to finding your very first client. So I remember getting off the phone. It was morning for me, so it was nighttime for you. And I think you sent out an email, is that right? To your whole entire group that you were a member of this group, right?
Yeah.
And then
yeah, so basically, and I know other people would be in different networking groups or community groups and things like that. So it truly is having that foot in the door of being able to, get someone to listen to you, because cold outreach is really difficult. So when you've got something in connection. So we were in this business group, and so I was able to look up all the American members or US members, and I looked for members who made stuff. So I was looking, so I could put them into categories. So I could look for woodworking or metal fabrication, other categories. I can't even remember, but I looked for categories where it was people physically making stuff like furniture or metal work or something like that, because I knew that there was a demand for those products and that they could make them. And then I sent it out. It would have been around 40 emails, and I heard back from 5. Okay, so 4 of them were just like, what? Huh? No, me, yep, no, don't understand what you're talking about. And then this other one was like, okay, we're interested. We've got a tractor part. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't want a tractor part. I want to sell this product. So, yeah, but who knows? They were basically gifting me an opportunity to sell a product. And it's like, okay, all right, I can't, as you just said, I cannot fall in love with the product, because the very first product that I launched, private label, I was so in love with it. Oh my God, I still love it. Oh, but it was not a profitable product. There was too much competition. The overheads and shipping and everything were too high. I was barely making 10% profit, even though I loved it. Now this product, there's nothing else like it on Amazon, okay? So there are competitors, but they're not the same, because it's their own design, it's their own intellectual property. And it's like anyone, like any sort of furniture maker or whatever, they make it their own. So it's going to be different. It's not en masse from overseas. So that's the beauty about this as well, is you're getting something kind of unique.
Yeah. And I think it's easier to market because it is different and it's there. So you really don't have the competition like typical Me Too products, as we call them, on Amazon. So let me ask you this. Have you set up their own website, or do they already have their own website where they sell like Shopify or WooCommerce or anything like that?
Okay, so this is where we're also dragging them kicking and screaming into the modern day age. So I do some SEO work. So they had a really outdated website for their, fences and gates and everything. So I actually made over their website, and then we've got I've just added a sales page for this tractor part. It doesn't really go with their website, but it's there. Going forward, I do want to create for them a shop site with their different products, but because they've only got one product at the moment, it's a bit not there. They really need to add a couple more things before we can sort of market that, if that makes sense.
So obviously that once you create this other site, then you're going to be managing that, and you will be making money off those sales too.
Yeah, right. And they've told me that,
So, I mean, obviously that's like a no-brainer because it doesn't sound like they're really into the techie part, but also they don't have time because they're too busy running their business. They're doing what they are meant to do, and they don't have time for all this e-commerce over here. So that's, again, solidifies your relationship and why they need you and how important you are to the growth of their business. So I love that, because here's the other thing too. What I have found, and you can let me know if you feel the same way, shoppers that shop on one platform, such as, I don't know, let's say eBay, they don't necessarily cross over to Amazon. People that are on Etsy tend to stick to Etsy. People that shop on Amazon don't go looking for eBay. So and then we have our Shopify customers. We don't run any ads on our Shopify business for my main client. And so shoppers or customers tend to pick a platform, the method that they prefer, and they don't cross over, so it doesn't hurt your sales on these other platforms. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. And I personally sell on Amazon, and I personally sell on Etsy. Now, I know that, Amazon's great, but I tell you what, Etsy customers are so much easier to deal with. Mm-hmm. If you've got a product that can be sold on Etsy, please consider Etsy as well. You can sell for hire. Okay, you can add extra money on it and you never get the returns ever. Mm-hmm. It's very, very rare that there's a return, or they reach out to you first and say, hey, it arrived, but there's a missing part, and it's like, oh, fantastic, let me send you a new one. So easy. You don't get the returns. So if you can find a product that can also be sold on Etsy, absolutely do it.
Yeah. So I love that, because many products can transform or cross over to many different platforms, and they may perform well on one and not so great on the other, but it doesn't matter. The presence is still there, and you can still utilize the shoppers that are on that platform. So you really just bring up the bottom line point is not, certain platforms are better than others, but don't discount any of them because you can still make money on all of them, right? Some are just better suited for the big ticket, or for the big, I guess the main bulk of where you're going to be generating your sales from. So I like that.
Well, it depends on the product. I mean, Amazon, absolutely. You can't beat the sales velocity when your product's hot. But, as I said, there are different platforms, and they've all got their pros and cons. It's just a matter of working out where your product will be in demand for, and also the scale about what your manufacturer can produce at as well. If I know at one stage we were selling quite a few every day, and my supplier was freaking out. They're like going, oh my God, it's stuck at the powder coaters, and we went out of stock for quite a few times because we were waiting for that, the supply chain. And it was frustrating because, as you know, on Amazon, if you go out of stock for more than a couple of days, your sales go right down and you have to rebuild, and it's like, oh no, and then you sort of have to start it again, or you get a 1-star review and it's like, oh my God, okay, who do you know that can buy this part, and leave us a review? And they made so many mistakes. Like, I nearly wanted to shake her. She got her daughter to buy a part, and her daughter wasn't able to leave reviews on Amazon. They'd taken that ability off her. And it's like, why would you get your daughter to leave a review when she couldn't leave a review because she'd left too many reviews on other products? So you really got
like a calamity of errors there. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what all, I talk a lot about service offerings. So it's like the duties and the different categories of duties that we do or provide services for our clients. So what all are your service offerings that you offer your clients?
Okay, so for my business personally?
No, for your South Carolina customer. So what all do you do for them other than manage? You've already talked about you set them up on Amazon, you manage their Amazon account. So you're the liaison between Amazon corporate and the company. You're the face virtually, and then you create the shipping labels because they do FBA, not FBM, and that means that you ship the products into Amazon, or you just send them the labels for them to ship the products into Amazon up front in order for Amazon to fulfill those orders. So do you do any other duties? So you talked a little bit about you help them build a website. So do you do anything else, any kind of customer service or anything like that?
So I don't do any customer service for them at all. If a customer messaged me about something, I basically forwarded it straight on to them. So I'd get the customer's phone number. So the customer would say, oh, I'm not sure how this works, or there was a chip in it or something like that. And I'd message them back and say, please give me your phone number and I will get John, the owner, and he will give you a call. And so I would nip it in the bud straight away, because there was no way I was going to talk to a farmer about some tractor part, because I have no idea about how this tractor part was going to fit onto their trailer or whatever. So it was much better for John to speak to the farmer about how to get the best out of this. So I would just connect them. So I'd send John a message and say, hey, this has come in, can you please call them? So that's how I did that.
So you were still performing some part of customer service, but it wasn't the full to the end. It was just redirecting and narrowing down and then passing it on. And that's still a big help for your client, because you're fielding all the phone calls or messages, or not necessarily phone calls, you're in a different country, but you're fielding the messages and then forwarding them to him so he knows what he has to handle or not. So I'm sure that's still a great service for him, because it kind of organizes it and kind of, he doesn't have to do every little detail, where, he just handles those particular type.
Yeah, and I have to say that in the 12 months, there was only about 5 times where he had to make a phone call just to answer a question or to send a replacement. One guy used it incorrectly and broke it. So he actually made him a reinforced one and sent that to him instead. So they offer above and beyond customer service, but only when the customer actually reaches out with a question. It's really frustrating when the customer uses it incorrectly and then just,
Yeah. And we all have those issues, regardless of which platform that we sell on. So I don't think there is a difference. We talked about Amazon, and there definitely is a difference in this because of their business practices. They gear towards, being on the benefit of the customer side and not on the seller side. So they create these monsters, sometimes that we have to deal with. So I agree with you that other sites are much easier to deal with than having to deal with Amazon's rules and regulations. But they kind of have us over a barrel because they have such a big customer base that we can tap into if that's the right market for the product that you're selling, right? So what would you say is the best advantage of being an e-commerce business manager and helping someone else sell their products?
Not having to put your own capital up. It's, like I've not had to spend virtually a cent. The only money I've spent on this is they sent me some photos of their product with the chickens in the background, and I just sent it to a guy on Fiverr to basically do a photo rendering to get rid of the chickens in the background. So that's about the only money I've spent, and my time nurturing that relationship at the start, and then every couple of weeks, just running the report, how much money I have to sell them. And that's the only other expenses. I've had some bank transaction fees, when you're sort of transferring money backwards and forwards. Apart from that, it hasn't cost me virtually anything.
So while we're on that topic, which service do you use to transfer money, just in case another student has to do that and they work across country?
So TransferWise is the business, the platform I use, but they are renaming themselves to, I think, just Wise.
Okay.
But TransferWise are really easy. It goes straight into his bank. He just had to set it up with an email address. The first couple of payments we did on PayPal, and PayPal comes in handy, but the fees absolutely suck. I hate paying that type of fees. It's just not fair. So TransferWise was a whole lot more better, and he wasn't being charged. He wasn't being charged fees when he received the money. Good. So like PayPal was charging him, he was also losing money on his end as well. So yeah.
How about that? Yeah. They get their part, but I'm glad you mentioned TransferWise. I have a TransferWise account as well. All right, so that was your best advantage. So what would you say is the hardest or the biggest obstacle that you have to overcome being an e-commerce business manager and working for clients?
That it's not your product. So you can't, you have to roll with what they want, and getting through to them about what it is that you need. So it can be quite frustrating. Like I've been asking them for 3 months now, can you please get a video? Can you please get a video? Could you please pay a local videographer to come and, please, we can't move forward until you actually get this video done. I'm not going to move forward unless you have this video done, because I don't want the same thing to happen again where people are using it incorrectly. We really need a demonstration video that is on the listing, and that is also something that they can access through an insert card as well.
Right. That can be frustrating for sure, because even though it definitely sounds like you have a wonderful relationship and they look to you to be the expert, they do drag their feet, and it is their business. They are busy. I completely understand and relate, because I've been begging for the same things, and it took me probably about 6 months and I finally did get it. But it made such a difference once you do finally have it, because it just creates such a better customer experience. Fewer returns, fewer damages, fewer everything. So it's a wonderful process. In the end, it's just getting them to realize how important it is. So yeah.
And also dealing with their frustration. Like I'd have Michelle is her name. She'd ring me and go, that guy left me a 1-star review and, they've just returned it. And I said, well, hang on, Michelle, you're an Amazon customer. Don't you do exactly the same thing? And it's like, yeah, and it's like, when you buy something, you return it or you leave a bad, unfortunately, that's just what's going to happen, you know, and the way we can stop it from happening is to have everything set up in a better way, so you've got less idiots buying a product that's not going to be suitable for them. So we want to stop those people from purchasing the product.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you're using that as a teaching moment to your clients so they understand the importance of getting that video done. So I love the way you reframe that and kind of put it back in her court so she really sees the other side. That was beautiful. That was
well, she uses Amazon herself. And I said, well, how many reviews do you leave? Oh, not many. You know, how many products do you return? Oh, quite a few.
Awesome. I love that. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, so it sounds like from everything that we talked about so far, definitely, you know, not everything comes up roses 100% of the time. There are challenges, but sounds like the challenges experienced being an e-commerce business manager certainly are better and fewer than what you experience as a regular private label seller, and with the investment and all the drama and the struggles there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. If you can get your products locally, one, you're not dealing with customs, you're not dealing with shipping, you're not dealing with the whole EIN setup, and and if you're in the same country, like if you've got a US seller and a US manufacturer, you understand, you know, you've got it made. You've just got to find that the part the company, and it will be awesome.
Now they have a Amazon Australia though, right? Don't they?
They do, but it's not anywhere as big as what it is, you know. eBay is still quite a big platform over here in Australia.
Okay. Interesting. So definitely, now that you learned the process, if you wanted to expand into your own country, you already know what to do, or you just jump right in and just roll with it. Now, I want to reiterate too, because in the program now, when you started, it was named 7-Figure DNA, so it's a little bit of a different structure. And now so much more, even my experiences, I've learned so much more, and I have put so much more material into the new training as an e-com business manager, because this name just suits it better. It's exactly what we do, right? So there is so much more training to come. But in your case, we just had a conversation over the phone to kind of get you started, and you found your very first client within the first 24 hours of getting started. You didn't even go through the 5-day workshop of how to find clients. So that's a whole nother resource that we have now that you'll even be able to take advantage of if you want to expand your business. That's going to be coming up probably in a couple of weeks. So you'll be able to take advantage of that in case it's something you might find some new tips and new ideas out there to expand on. But I love the way that you said, if you have a connection, at least get your foot in the door. You've got some type of common bond, whether it's a group or a club or organization, or maybe someone you know that knows a friend that knows a friend that can drop a name and kind of help you get your foot in the door. So lots of techniques. It's a 5-day workshop, so I'm sure you'll find some things that will help you as well, and everyone else into the program. So thank you so much. I want to give you a chance now. I just appreciate your insight of everything that we talked about, and sharing your expertise and your experience, challenges, positives, the good things and the bad. But I want you to talk about your SEO part, because I know I've invited you, since this is another segment of your business. I'm a huge proponent of having multiple buckets of income, right? Never being stuck with one thing, because if one thing flops, you still got 2 other things or whatever, you can still keep rolling, right? So huge proponent of multiple streams of income. So I know you were working also on SEO, so I'm going to give you a chance to explain that. And I want, let's just go there first. So what is SEO? And then tell us what you do using that skill set.
Okay, so SEO stands for search engine optimization, and there are different search engines. So Amazon is its own search engine. So what works on Amazon doesn't necessarily cross over to Google. Google's another search engine. And another search engine is Etsy. Etsy has its own search algorithm. And then Pinterest is another big search engine as well. And each platform has different, rules or algorithms. But all of them have one thing in common, and that's keywords, okay? That's a search term that people type into their keyboard to find a product. So learning about keywords and keyword research, that was one thing that I really did not understand when I first started selling on Amazon. It just didn't make sense. And then I started studying SEO so I could make more sales. And I found that working on different websites, I actually really enjoy that now. And keywords is really, really important. And the other things that I realized, because I struggled with on Amazon, is getting reviews. So I can't really get you Amazon reviews, but what I do work on is for small businesses is to get them Google reviews, Facebook reviews, reviews on Trustpilot, and all that, because reviews, as you know, when you're looking for a product, the first thing you do is you read the reviews. Mm-hmm. And reviews basically boost your sales conversions massively, okay? So that's what I'm concentrating on a lot at the moment, is getting small businesses more reviews so they get more sales when they get found in a local Google search.
So this just screams to me opportunity. And I don't know what type of business clients that you have for the SEO work, but any of them that make their own product is an automatic shoe-in for you to now become their e-commerce business manager as well. So just connecting those two is, I would think, would open up even more doors for you to kind of, cross over in those two business opportunities.
Yeah, well, so the Google review system that I'm actually taking that worldwide at the moment. So every country in the world, except I think China, basically has Google. So that's what I am concentrating on at the moment. I still sell on Amazon, and I'm not as focused on that. The sales just trickle along nicely, mm-hmm. But the Google reviews is what's going to make me my $1 million, because mm-hmm. It's just an easier product to promote, and I don't have the competition that you find on Amazon, and the SEO ties into it nicely. So what I'm doing off page is I'm sending a lot of SEO juice to my products so that they get found in a Google search. So when you type into Google, say you sell salt and pepper shakers, okay? So if I go into Google best salt and pepper shakers, Google will always give Amazon the first top 3 results, okay? So my aim is to make sure that my products are in that top 1 or 2 results of what for Google. And so I know how to do that. I'm just in the process of doing that at the moment. And it's all about creating blog articles and backlinking to your product on Google, so that on Amazon, sorry. So Amazon may not show my product because they've got their own algorithm, but I can work Google's algorithm to make sure my product's shown when people are doing a Google search.
Oh my gosh, that is just so important. That has massive opportunity for us as e-commerce business managers to make sure that our products that we're representing for our clients are found when people are searching on Google. And that's going to not only create more sales for our clients, but make us more money. So critical, and so important to make sure that we have SEO done properly for the products that we're selling for our clients. So now that leads me to a masterclass that I have asked you to teach, since you are the SEO expert. That is perfect for our group and all of our students, because we need to know SEO. We need to know the importance behind it. We need to know what to do with it. And in addition to that, you have agreed to teach the masterclass, but then because you do this as a business, if any of the students or their clients wanted to outsource to you to get you to set that up, then definitely you can do that for them and take care of that process. So I'm excited about your masterclass coming up.
For sure. So, yep, absolutely. Let me put my thinking cap on and bat out some ideas with you, Sin, and we'll put together something that will, relate and get you more success on the online world. I mean, SEO is a massive topic, so I'll keep it to easily actionable things that you can do for sure.
I love it. I love it. Okay, well, we have been going for about an hour, so it's probably time to I know we get so excited talking, we can talk all night. But I think we've pretty much hit on all the most important topics. I know some of the students will have some additional questions, so I'll just ask you to post them in the comment section under the video, and Danielle is in the group, so she'll be more than happy to follow up and answer those. And we'll make sure that if any other insight, I'm sure she'll be happy to share with you. So just look forward to the announcement of her masterclass coming up. We'll be posting that as soon as it's ready. And once again, I just thank you so much. I am so proud of you. I just feel like, I have a personal interest in your success because you were my #1 student. And I'm just so glad you're still here 18 months later and you're still going strong. I know they've had some hiccups with their videos or some reviews, but you still see it as a long-term relationship. And I know that they're still connected to you and they don't want to lose you at all. So
no. They're not going anywhere. I can't shake them even if I wanted to.
I love it. I love it. And it's a true testament to the relationship that you build. So it's like it's a family, even though it's a business venture, it truly is. It's the personal connection is what will make or break the success of you working with the client. So I truly appreciate your insight and your time this evening, and I'm just so happy for you. I cannot wait to see the masterclass coming up because I know it's going to be excellent. Okay?
Oh, good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Danielle, and we will be talking to you soon. And you're in the group, so hopefully you'll be participating in some of the other training that'll be coming up. Okay? Sound good?
Absolutely.